Hi, and welcome to your Raise Kids Kickstart. I'm Annie Delaney, co-founder and CEO of Raise Kids, and I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're just getting started or you've already been exploring the app, I'm excited to walk alongside you as you discover all the ways Raise Kids can support your program. From saving you time to enriching children's learning to making it easier to connect with families. We're here to help you do what you do best. During this 50-minute session, we'll explore the multitude of uses of Raise Kids and, through examples, show how the app will practically apply to be used in your programs. We'll also walk through the steps to get started and how to navigate, so you'll leave this session being fully prepared to utilize the app. We know that running a family childcare program is incredibly rewarding, but it can also be exhausting. You wear many hats as a caregiver, an educator, a business owner, and a really important guide to parents and families. So this app was designed for you, for family childcare providers. It is simple to use. It is packed with resources you need in your programs, including a full play-based curriculum for mixed ages, a means to efficiently and effectively communicate with parents, and tools to stay organized with the administrative aspects of running your program. You do enough already, and we're really proud to support you with tools that make your life easier. During this session, we encourage you to keep an open mind about all the ways in which technology can help you. It was built for you, and now we're excited for you to explore it with us. So let's dive in. So the first thing we want to go through is to have you brainstorm one part of your day that feels overwhelming. What's something that feels really challenging and difficult for you? Whether it's something that you just really don't like doing, something that feels like it's harder than it should be. We often hear from providers that they struggle with the administrative burdens of running a family childcare program. Whether it's the paperwork, even things like the attendance sheets, managing those. We also hear from providers who struggle with parent communication, that parents are asking them questions throughout the day of how did their baby sleep? How did they eat? What are the kids doing today? Or parents not really understanding what's going on in their program and maybe not valuing all of the work that they're doing. We also hear providers really struggle with having the time to prepare activities for the kids, that there's no time to do it. A lot of the activities aren't quite the right fit for their mixed ages, and mixed age groups can be really difficult to plan for. Um, and a lot of curriculums that are out there don't really work for them. So there are lots of different challenges, and we've seen providers share a lot of those common challenges. What we'll do in the next few slides is walk through a few example provider profiles. So these are all, there aren't one specific person, but they are a combination of folks that we have met and talked to and seen the challenges that are in their programs. And we know that you could share some of those. So the first provider that we want you to meet is Maria. So a day in her life looks like in the morning, she's juggling breakfast, diaper changes, and parent drop-offs. Midday, she's leading activities with the kids while also trying to document the learning. And then in the afternoon, she's multitasking. She's providing updates to parents at pickup while she's also trying to be attentive to the kids. And then in the evening, she's up late finishing paperwork that she didn't get to during the day. She's responding to parent messages, and then she's spending time preparing for tomorrow to do it again. Can you relate to anything from Maria's challenges? That you're wearing so many hats and there's a lot of responsibilities, and it just looks like a lot of juggling throughout the day. Well, now you will show you what Maria's life looks like while utilizing Raise Kids. That helps to offset some of these challenges. So Maria's day in the life with Raise Kids looks like with just a tap, she's logging the important information for that child of what their day has looked like. So sleep, meals, activities she's doing with them. That helps with compliance and record keeping, but it also helps to keep parents in the loop. So she's doing two things at once, and she's doing it really simply with a really simple interface with Raise Kids. Maria is keeping all personal communication in one place, which helps stay organized. So she's utilizing the in-app chat within Raise Kids. So she's no longer mixing those work and personal text messages, keeping a little bit more of that virtual boundary, as boundaries can be really challenging when you have your business in your home. And instead of spending weekends writing newsletters, more out of her precious personal time, instead she's sharing daily moments and updates throughout the week, which parents really love because it keeps them engaged in real time. And parents are staying informed, so they ask fewer questions. So she ends up saving time. So this is thanks to the shared calendar that keeps track of all of the important events that are coming up, close dates, having record of that in one place, and also the real-time updates that she's providing throughout the week or throughout the day. There's less to talk about during that pickup and drop-off time, saving for some of that to be the more substantive things. And a note about Maria, which is similar to so many of the providers that we've worked with, is that she was at first hesitant to use the app. She was hesitant to take on new technology, knowing that she's not very tech savvy, but she quickly realized how simple it is because it was built for her. She says, if you can send a text, you can use the app. So I'll show you what this looks like within the app and some of the tools that Maria is utilizing. So here is we're on Lucas's profile. We're going to add an event for Lucas. So we're going to choose a diaper event, and we're only going to tag Lucas in this one, although you could tag multiple children. And here we're also going to select the appropriate date and time that it occurred. It defaults to the current date and time. So if you're utilizing it real time, it's pretty quick, but you can easily adjust it too. And then we will submit that, and it will show up on Lucas's profile with all the other events of the day. Here is the in-app chat. So this is one-on-one, like direct messages or group text messages. And then here is the shared calendar. So here, Maria has logged important events that are coming up in her program. So a Valentine's Day breakfast, a spring family potluck, a summer party, making note of those important upcoming dates, as well as her close dates, whether it is holidays, whether it's vacation time. She's keeping track of that all here so that parents have really easy access to it. So they don't have to dig up information from an email once a month or at the beginning of the year where you communicated all of this. They have it all right at their fingertips. Next, we'll meet another provider and see what his challenges are. So this is Tony. He's the next person we want you to meet. So Tony prides himself on having a close-knit environment of his program, but parents don't always feel engaged. They rush at drop-off and pickup. They ask for updates, but they don't always check their emails. And Tony just wishes he could see how much learning is happening every day. So Tony's feeling frustrated that parents don't really understand the components of the day and all of the value that's happening with his care for their children in his program. So have you ever felt underappreciated or like parents don't really see everything that's happening? And you want this close-knit environment, but it feels a challenge to get families engaged. Well, let's look at what Tony's family engagement looks like while utilizing Raise Kids. So what Tony's doing with Raise Kids is every day he's sharing an activity that he's doing with the kids, and he's explaining the learning behind it. Parents often think that learning through play just looks like, or that play is just play, and really not understanding all of the value and learning that is important for early childhood throughout that play. So he's helping parents see their child's progress. So Tony is getting the information for what the children are learning through play through Raise Kids as well, and making it really easy to be able to pass that information along to parents. With a couple of taps, Tony is logging real-time observations, so specific skills that are being developed, which is building a digital learning journey for that child. And parents love to see a child's growth. And so by documenting that in a storyboard format, which is what you do by accumulating these, a parent is really able to see all of the growth that's happened with their child in your program. And then he's sharing fun, candid moments throughout the day, photos and videos and things which help parents feel connected even when they're away. So Tony, who struggled with that, but not feeling like parents were engaged, he's now getting instant feedback from them because he's seeing that they like and they comment on the photos, which shows that they're engaged and actively utilizing the app, which makes him feel good about what he's sharing with them and makes parents feel good about what they're receiving. So I'll show you what that looks like within the app. So here we're on Lucas's profile again. We're going to add another event. This time we'll add a custom event, but we'll swap out the child. So we'll select Maddie instead. We'll again choose the appropriate date and time, and we'll add in a description. So we'll describe an activity, which was we made Play-Doh maps today, which help develop connections, fine motor, and self-regulation. We'll add an optional photo and then submit that. And the photo helps just to bring that to life more. So if we can see on Maddie's profile, it's now posted for her parents to see, along with any other events of the day. Now we'll select Ben, and we will add an observation for him. So a specific skill. So we'll add an optional photo here, and then we'll select the domain. So for this specific example, we'll select the physical domain and gross motor, and we'll put in a description that he went up the rock wall for the first time today. So it makes his parents proud to see his development and can show a photo of that right there. So then the photos accumulate on the photo and video gallery, and here they can go back and access those whenever they would like. So here you can see they can like and comment on those, and it's really accessible for parents, which is what they love. And so we often get questions about security here and access. So parents only see their own child who is tagged in photos. So if there are multiple children tagged in a photo, multiple parents will see that photo, but parents are only seeing pictures that their own child is tagged in. So we'll go ahead and meet our last provider, and her name is Lisa. And Lisa is honestly one of my favorites. So Lisa loves caring for children and is passionate about supporting their growth. She often wonders, though, if she's on the right track, if she's doing enough to help them develop. So she knows that she has these two ends of the spectrum where letting kids play freely all day feels unstructured and chaotic, and she knows that she's missing something. She knows that free play is so great for children, but it doesn't really make her day flow smoothly. And she feels like she's missing some of that deeper learning and maybe some school preparedness that she feels responsible for. But then she tries these structured lessons to bring some of that into her day-to-day life, but they seem forced, and the children don't want to sit for them. And she struggles with other behavioral challenges of the children getting up and trying to control the class, which makes those not that enjoyable either. So there has to be something sort of in the middle there that is natural, playful, but has this deep, purposeful learning underneath it. But finding those activities takes too long, and most don't fit well with a mixed age environment, which is the group that's in her care. So she's really struggling and just questions if she's on the right track and if she's doing enough. Can any of you relate to what Lisa is experiencing and the challenges she has? About nearly all providers that we talk to end up having some amount of this challenge. So you're absolutely not alone. So now we'll show you what Lisa's life looks like and how she's preparing for her week with Raise Kids. And she goes into it confidently every week. Now she's planning just 1 to 2 weeks in advance in 30 minutes. So she has access to this activity library that has over 500 play-based activities. And so in there, she can choose from that library things like cars, wild animals, balloons, different themes that she knows the kids will be interested in that will keep them engaged all week. Lisa loves that most of the activities utilize items that she already has. She knows that these are all developed for the home environment. And when we do that, we know that you have access to a pantry, to household items, generally to an outdoor area where you can get natural resourceful materials. So we try to utilize as many of those as we possibly can. But when needed, we have shopping links within the app. So she can quickly source the materials that she needs by utilizing those links. So there are things that we know are the right quantity, the right type, a reasonable cost that can get there quickly. Another thing Lisa loves is that she has access to the Learning Through Play guide with every activity. So we'll show you an example of what that looks like. But the purpose of it is for her to be able to understand all the learning that's behind it, whether it's happening naturally or through some facilitator engagement. And it helps her be able to prepare herself before that activity so she can know how to spark and deepen that learning with children. And these are through simple prompts, open-ended questions, ways to organize the activity that can really help to deepen that learning for whatever targeted goals that you have. We identify 3 specific domains and skills with every activity. There are so many that could be highlighted and identified, but we pick 3 and then show you how that is happening within the activity or how you can further deepen that and extend the activity to help to bring out even more learning. And then with that, armed with that information, she knows that she can confidently share that with parents. So the kids are engaged, they're learning, and she's confidently sharing all of that learning with parents, which then strengthens trust in her program. So we know that 500 activities is an incredible resource for you to have that are all play-based, they're all meant for mixed age environment, meant for the home environment. But we know it can also feel overwhelming, and where do you start? So we have developed sample plans, which is what Lisa utilized to start. So that gave her a little bit of structure, whether it was, we gave her 5 activities for the week, and then we also included some music, some books, things to accompany these to round out the week a little bit more. We gave some core ideas of the learning that you're bringing into the specific content learning that you're bringing into the week, as well as your materials list to be able to better prepare. And then that gave some structure and some sort of confidence in how she can then approach her weeks going from there by utilizing Raise Kids and the activity library that's here and the hundreds of themes. So we know this is an incredible resource for you, and we are so excited for you to dive in and see all that you have access to. So I'll show you what that looks like within the app. So here we're going to navigate to the Activities tab, which is the second from the left. And this is the Activities main screen, but we'll go right ahead to the filter, which is at the top right. And we'll look at the hundreds of themes that are included there. They're included by sort of unit and subunit. So we'll select the water ocean subunit. And within there, we can see there's 12 activities, and we'll select Design a Coral Reef. And so right at the top, you can see a quick description, directions, there's your materials list, and then this is the Learning Through Play guide. So we've identified 3 different skills and domains and included description underneath it of how you can deepen that learning. Here's one of the material shopping links. If you do need that material, we've identified something that's the right quantity, a decent price, and can get there quickly. So now we'll go out to look at what the activities home screen looks like without a filter. And here you can see on any category, you can do a horizontal scroll and get access to all those activities. And they're all grouped here for easy categorization and understanding of the type of activity that you might want to do. So we've talked a lot about how you can utilize Raise Kids and how it's so helpful for you. But this is one of the reasons why parents love it so much. Surveys have been done that say that 98% of parents say communication is critical when selecting a childcare program. I know myself, I have many friends who have selected childcare programs for their kids knowing that they're utilizing a communication app. That's probably because 90% of parents are either millennials or Gen Z. So that's how they operate. They expect to be able to have digital updates and get things at their fingertips. Providers using communication apps were 29% more likely to get referrals based on other surveys that have been done. And whether that's because parents really understand all the components that are happening in a program or just really appreciate that method of communication, it makes them more likely to want to refer your program to friends. So it's a benefit for you because you save time, makes your life easier, and parents really appreciate it too. So we don't want you to just take our word for it. We want you to hear from other providers who have utilized the app and what this looks like in their program. So let me show you what they had to say.
Hey, I'm Kiana Jacobs. Thank you, CCPU, for introducing us to Raise Kids and for supporting them to support us. I'm in love with the curriculum because it's a better view for the children and family child care providers. Today we experienced a wonderful story with the gingerbread man and an activity. I enjoyed it. The engagement was wonderful. And the connections for me was great for the DRDPs when I want to write observations. It hit language, it hit literacy, it hit fine motor skills. It was a connection of cognitive development. The children were able to communicate verbally. My 2-year-old understood exactly everything that was said. For different age brackets, they were all engaged, and they were so delighted to see how the gingerbread man came alive in their imagination. Family child care providers, please try this curriculum. It's the best.
Well, my name is Jackie Jackson. I want to tell CCPU, thank you. What I like about the Raise Kids activity is it's home-based, and it's dynamite. It's great. It's awesome. What I love about the program is that I can communicate right there and then. If the baby get an ouchie, I can take a picture and send it to the mom. We're all connected to this one app. So it just works out so much more convenient. It allows me to be able to do something else other than documenting information on a paper. I can't believe to tell you guys how much of an effect it has made on this facility here.
Mi nombre es Miriam Montiel y quiero motivar a muchas proveedoras y maestras de la educación a registrarse a Raise Kids, una aplicación que le apoya mucho en su educación, con el desarrollo de los niños, una comunicación muy amplia con los padres. A mí me ha apoyado mucho porque me ha ahorrado mucha documentación que puedo tener guardada y sin compartir con los padres todo el desarrollo de sus niños, el biberón, ida al pañal, observaciones, comidas, calendario para su guardería o escuelita que tenga, pero es muy bueno. Yo se lo recomiendo y que se motiven a poderlo tomar porque es muy práctico.
We hope that gave you a sense of what Raise Kids can look like in your programs. And as you can see in that video, we did an activity. It was the gingerbread chasing game activity that's in the app. It's part of the theme books and the subunit fairy tales. And with that activity, you can see this is what it looks like within the app and how we adapted it in this environment where there were about 10 children participating, all of varying ages. We use the app to look at the directions, the time required was about 10 minutes, and it's suggested to be a group activity. We looked at the materials list, and I came prepared with all of that to help to facilitate the activity. But you can see here the materials list includes Play-Doh, collected natural materials of leaves, sticks, grass, flowers, a baking sheet, and then the gingerbread cookie cutter, and then of course the story itself. So for this, the Play-Doh, we utilized the best basic Play-Doh recipe that was in the app, and we adapted it using the directions here, which was to, instead of using food coloring, we used some cacao powder to color it sort of the gingerbread brown color. And so I came prepared with that. If I was there longer, I would have made that one day and then utilized it the next day, because that even in and of itself is a great activity to do. I wasn't sure what sort of natural materials we'd have access to, and so I brought some decorative pieces that we could use instead. But again, had we been there longer, I would have gone out for a walk with the kids or in the backyard to forage for natural materials. And then they had these nice baking sheets, and then I just brought a gingerbread cookie cutter. So we utilized the app to go through the instructions for starting the activity and adapted it for what was right for them. So we did the story time where we read the gingerbread man story, asked the children to all identify something, one of their favorite characters. And so we would come back to that later. Then we moved to the sensory part of the activity where the children rolled out the Play-Doh, which was their dough, and they used the cookie cutter to push down, and then they got to decorate their gingerbread people. So they made a bunch of gingerbread people. So we had a lot of fun doing that, and then we put those onto the baking sheets, the trays, and brought them outside. And there wasn't a huge outdoor space, but it was just enough. We did not need much. And it wasn't like there was we needed much in the backyard. What we looked for was anything that could resemble a pretend kitchen. So we utilized a box, which worked perfectly. And we made that our pretend oven. And the movement part of the activity was, and the game was that the children would bake the gingerbread people. And then with each turn, we took one child and had them play their favorite character in the story, someone other than the gingerbread man. And then the other kids played the gingerbread man, and they would run around the backyard and they would be chased by the other character, whether it was the wolf, the man, the woman, and they played tag. And so we played that for several rounds. And so that was really great for movement and moving their bodies, gross motor development. It also had some pretend play in there. We would count down from five, four, three, two, one, ding, and then have the gingerbread people come out of the oven, and then they would all come to life. So that was what we utilized the facilitation guide for, was some specific prompts in there that we could utilize to help to deepen and spark that learning. So the pieces that we highlighted as part of that guide were the cognitive skill of memory. So here we asked the children to remember their favorite character, and then we would come back to it later by playing the game that they would play a certain character that was in the story. The gross motor piece was, of course, the running that they got out in the backyard. And then there's the love of books. So, of course, having the story just helps to deepen that love of learning, which is so important for a child as a lifelong learner. And so within that are tips and again, the materials list. It doesn't have to be much for it to be a really great activity. So really the big piece that we needed was the gingerbread cookie cutter, and that was all that we had to prepare for. Everything else was really pantry items or things that we could access throughout the house. That activity lasted probably an hour and a half or so. So it really was multi-dimensional, a lot of learning that was there, but just so fun for the kids. And when I was leaving hours later, the kids kept asking to continue playing, which is an indication of how much fun they had. So that's just one of the 500 activities that you have at your fingertips within the Raise Kids app. So we've walked through a lot of what you can do with Raise Kids app. And now we want to just summarize what a day in your life could look like and really visualize how Raise Kids can be brought into your program. So imagine walking into your program every morning, knowing exactly what activities you'll do, feeling confident that everything is in place, and seeing the children engaged in that meaningful play. You'll now have a seamless flow where you're not scrambling anymore for activities. Raise Kids is your guide so that your day can run smoothly. You have confidence in your work, knowing that you're providing that high quality learning, those experiences that are so important for a child's development. And you have higher parent satisfaction. So parents see their child's growth, they feel more connected, and then that leads to more referrals and full enrollment, which is great for your business. And you have everything in one place. So you can feel confident that it's all together. No more scattered notes or forgotten details. All of your planning, logs, and communication is in one place. So we've talked about a lot of the different things you can do with the app, but we haven't quite shown you all of the features that are underneath it because we didn't get to everything during this Kickstart. But so you know what's there so you can further explore. For our parent communication, we've shown you the photos and videos that can be shared securely and safely. The care logs, whether that's the information for babies, diaper changes, bottles, sleep, all of that important information for you to keep for documentation purposes as well as communicating to parents, and the day-to-day events that children are doing, even for the older kids, keeping them informed of what the child's day looks like. And then, of course, the in-app chat helps you keep that easy communication with parents and organized. Then the play-based activities, those over 500 activities that are in a library that are perfect for mixed ages. They're all meant for that, as well as for the home environment. You have materials lists, purchase links with those, making your planning even easier. And then you also have the domains identified And we've also provided clear linkage of those to DRDP, so that and related state standards so that you can easily complete observations as necessary. And then we have the administrative tools. So attendance, that shared schedule, a billing feature, and then we have others that we continue to add to it, such as employee time tracking. And you can be confident to know that the app is accessible in 6 languages, which we're really, really proud to support. So we have English, Spanish, Somali, Simplified Chinese, Russian, and Armenian. And it can all be changed with just a toggle from the top left-hand corner menu bar here. You can click that and then toggle what your preferred language is. And so all of the app translates into that, except for user inputted information will maintain whatever the primary language was, the source language was. But all of the activities all translate to whatever your chosen language is. So now we want to make sure that you can get started utilizing the app. So we'll get you in and so you can explore at your own pace. And then you can join for further sessions and information about really how to dive deep into any of those features. But for now, we'll make sure you get into the app and get started. So the first thing you're going to do is download the app. So you can use this QR code here, or you can go to directly to the App Store or Google Play, depending on which type of phone you're using. Download the app, and when you open it, you'll see this first screen here. On this screen, you enter your email address. And if you're working with us as part of a program, we would have potentially already set you up with access. And so your screen is going to look like the next 2 screens. If your access hasn't started yet and we haven't set up your account, you can still go ahead and get started, download the app, enter your email address, and register as normal. And then if you're part of a program, then we will upgrade your access on the appropriate date. So after you enter your email address and you press continue to enter into the app, you'll get a screen that says that you need to input a code that we've sent to your email. What it will look like in your email is this. So you'll get a security code, which is just an important step of verifying your email. It's I think, an 8-character code, all case sensitive. So we highly encourage you to highlight over that on your email, copy it, and then press paste within the security code here. And once you've done that, you can press sign in. It will take you to a screen to change for a permanent password, and then you get to continue from there. So once you go to that next step, once you're in the app, it will look like this. This is what your home screen will look like. And here you can choose where your next place is to go. So if you want to start utilizing the app for parent communication, you will head right to the left side of the screen here. So here is where you as a provider will start the family setup process. So the way the app works is you will set up a family, and then you'll set up a child underneath it, and then you'll invite parents to that family. When you invite parents to that family, they'll get a code that gives them access to that family. It's always the same code for that family. Every family has a different code. You can then share that through some easy ways within the app, whether it is sending a link directly to someone's a text message. You can just copy out that code and send it somewhere else. But we do have a pre-filled out invitation that will tell them more about the app and how to get started. When parents come in and they download the app, their screen looks the same. And so what they'll do is they'll take that code and they'll apply it here. And then they will have access to the children that you have set up underneath that family. So you only have to invite parents one time if they have multiple children in your care, and they'll see all the children underneath that account. So if you want to utilize it for exploring activities to start, because that is the thing that's got you most excited to save you time and to bring that valuable play-based learning into your program, then you'll start on the bottom menu bar, the bottom navigation bar. So right now we're on the Home tab. You go just to the right here, and it's the Activities tab. So you'll press that and you'll get that access to those over 500 play-based activities in the library. You can explore right on that screen. You can head to the top right corner where you can filter the activities to find the ones that are right for you. You can favorite them. And you can explore whether it's the featured ones that we have that are generally seasonally appropriate, or you can go to any of those categories and find ones that are right for you, favorite them, and prepare to start them this week. You can also then see where the photos will live. It's right here in the middle tab. The shared calendar is to the right of that, and then the chat feature is to the far right, the last one on the right. And up in the top left-hand corner is that menu bar. That's where if you expand that, you will be able to see the family profiles, more settings, the attendance feature is in there. And this is where you also can add a group. Once you add a group, that is your way of inviting a caregiver, so maybe an employee who works with you, to be able to get all those premium features and then access the children that you are adding to the app. So you invite them to the group one time and they have access to all the children underneath that. So you add a group, you name it, you will tag the children underneath it that you've already set up, and then you invite a caregiver with their email. They'll receive an email that then says they've been invited to join the group. They log in with their email and they have access. So there's a few more things to explore in that upper left-hand corner here. I now want to bring up the app and show you a few basic functions so that you know how to navigate once you get started. So here is what the app looks like when it is populated with students. So you can see the students are up across the top. And if you've added an optional profile photo, it will show here in these circles. If you haven't added a profile photo, it will show as their first initial in this blue circle. And you can take that profile photo either through the app or you can load it from your camera roll. But this is what Ben's profile looks like without any information populated on it for the day. So you can toggle between the students by just clicking on their profile photo to get to any of their individual profiles. You can use the quick action buttons up at the top in order to do some actions, and you can also do it from their individual profiles. So right now we're on Lucas's profile, and we'll go ahead and add an event for him. So in the today's event section, we'll add the plus button here, and we'll press add new. And here we can select the type of event we would like to add. So sleep, meals, bottle, diaper, bathroom, nursing, which is more if parents are communicating to you. Custom event, which is generally great for activities that you're doing with the kids, something that doesn't necessarily fit in one of the other categories. An observation being a specific skill that is observed, an incident, and then medicine. So we'll go ahead and add a diaper event for Lucas, and it defaults to the current date and time. So we will just say it happened this morning and select the type of diaper. We can add in optional comments, like applied diaper cream, submit, and then it shows on his profile. So any of the events of the day will show up right here. But if you want to see any past events that have happened previous days, you press his profile, see profile button here, and it will go to his profile and show all of the events that have been logged for him. You can then filter by the type of event logged, so sleep, meals, bottle, diaper. And so if you need a diaper log, you can go and filter by diapers, and here's your diaper log. Here, you can also edit his profile, whether it's to change his profile photo, change his optional birth date to add in there. Any changes you need to make from his profile can be made from the top right pencil button. So that's how to add an event. To add a photo, you would go to either add a photo quick action button right here in the middle or in the middle tab at the bottom navigation bar. You can go there, you can see the gallery, photo and video gallery. The top right button here is the plus button, is where you would add a photo and then tag the children in it. So you'll go ahead and select the choose media field, and you can either take a photo right from your app or choose from your gallery, which is from your camera roll. You'll have to allow the app permission in order to access those photos to add them into the app. So I'll choose from my gallery. I will go ahead and select a photo and I will tag one or more children. In this case, I'll only tag one, and I'll write an optional caption, making a call to mom, and then submit that. And then once it posts, you'll see it here. It is organized by date taken. So that one dropped to the bottom because it was taken later, or it was taken earlier. And you can see here is the photo. And so that was just added to Maddie's profile, so only Maddie's parents would see that photo. And then if you want to navigate to the activities, you can see those in here. Again, that filter button is in the top right corner. And otherwise, you'll see some featured events that are sort of seasonally related, some art, sensory, pretend play, movement, STEM, some food, some fun recipes, some taste opportunities, some games, which are great for all ages, basic recipes. So those are things that we reference other parts of the app, but can be great even as activities themselves. But our best basic Play-Doh we utilize all the time. Baby play. So these are really interactions that you're having back and forth with a baby. Babies are difficult to include in activities. They can be included as part of these open-ended activities and be a part of it, but their learning and development really happens from interactions with caregivers. And so we're giving you ideas and really clarifying what is happening in those interactions to make you feel really confident about it. And then for parents to have that information as well. And then again, some outdoor activities here, which can be done in many seasons and are mostly preferred to be done outdoors, although so many of these activities really should and can be done outdoors. So here's our turtle shell costume activity. So we give a carousel of photos of how it could look, quick description of it, which gives some content learning and some context behind the subject, and then quick directions, some tips, material list, materials notes, and then our learning through play guide. So these are the three skills that we are identifying that are great opportunities to be developed as part of this activity. So this one we chose language conversation. If you look at the little I button, it's for information. You click that and it brings up the definition of what conversation looks like for early childhood development. So it's important to have back and forth conversations to help children build their speaking skills by asking children open-ended questions during play. This demonstrates that you value what they have to say and encourages children to be more verbal. And then we have the social emotional skill of empowerment. They're making the design how they would like it. And then our school readiness skill. One of our skills is always a school readiness skill, which is either math or literacy. This one happens to be the math skill of shapes. So the shapes are a perfect opportunity when you're decorating the turtle shell, because there's so many different shapes that could be part of it. For instance, this one we showed examples of a hexagon, but there could be many different shapes and patterns, and have children arranging them like a puzzle on this turtle shell costume is a fun, interactive, playful way of being able to talk about shapes and define them in real life. So you can also favorite activities. So if you go into any of these activities, you can see the favorite button here, and it will show up and save on your favorites. So that is how to add an event, how to add a photo, navigate the activities. You also can see in here is the top left corner is the menu bar. You drop that down and you see here's the attendance where you can add a record. You can check in and check out, and parents can check in and check out as well, whichever you would prefer. Family profiles is where you'll see all of your families listed, and underneath them is the children that are associated with them. Here's how you will invite um, a parent to be part of it. So you press the plus button, and here there's multiple ways in which you can share that family code with them that they will apply on the home screen. And here is the groups function. And so this is where you would add a group. Most family childcare providers that we work with, only one group is enough for them unless they have really distinct groups that they're working with. But just adding one group, the name of your program, and here you can see we've titled this one's Mary's Daycare, and you can tag the children to be a part of it that are already set up under your care, and you can tag whoever is there. You can select them and tag, and then you can invite a caregiver. So you press caregivers, you can add a caregiver here, add their email, and they will get invited to the account. And you also have some settings here, and here's how you would toggle by language. So we have it set to English, but you can easily toggle to Spanish, um, Armenian, Somali, simplified Chinese, and Russian. So those are the major pieces of how you get started utilizing the app. So you might want to go right ahead and add a family profile, whether you're testing that with someone, whether you're testing it on your own, or whether you're just ready to go ahead and get started and you're excited. You might want to go ahead and browse some activities. Pick one that looks right for you to plan for the week. You might want to add an assistant to and one of your employees to it and to have them look for activities or have them explore. There's so many different possibilities of what you can do to get started, and we hope you find the right thing that excites you the most, and that you get to get started on that right away. So we just walked through many different features of how to utilize the app. And what we want you to do now is to sit and brainstorm for a minute. Your brain is probably thinking of so many different ways in which you can utilize it. And what we want you to do is to really think through one way. So we want you to think of what's one goal that you're pursuing over the next year where you can leverage Raise Kids. Whether that is you're looking to incorporate more play-based activities into your program, or you're looking to enhance family engagement, or you are looking to increase enrollment by getting better referrals. Whatever that goal is, think of how you can leverage Raise Kids for that. And then think of what's one small action you can take right away that you can take today in order to get started. So if you're looking to incorporate more play-based activities, or whether you're even just looking to save time, find one activity that you can try this week. Find one that has really resourceful materials that you already have on hand that takes no preparation to get started. Try it out and see how it works in your mixed age program. Or if you're looking to enhance family engagement and simplify your communication, ask one family who you think might be interested, hey, will you try this out with me? You add them, you start communicating, testing, if adding a few events, and see how that communication works and get their feedback. And then think of how you'd want to roll that out with the rest of your program. Just thinking one small way to not get overwhelmed by having to do it all, but think of one way that this can be really effective for you right away. And we don't want this to be the last time that we're connecting with you. We want to be able to continue interacting and to have you be a part of our community. So we invite you to be part of the Raise Kids Collaborative Facebook group. You can use the QR code here to access it, or you can also search for it within Facebook. Here, we share information about ways to best utilize Raise Kids, but we also encourage you to share and learn from each other. And that's the best kind of sharing and learning. How are other people utilizing this in their program? And what ideas can you have to bring that back? And then what information could you share with them and some best practices and tips of how it's really helped you? We also share some really great information on our Instagram account, so we encourage you to follow us there. And we have a full help center here to support you. Whether you're troubleshooting and you have a quick question, or you want to really dive in and learn all of the features and how to utilize them. For every piece of the app, we have step-by-step instructions as well as videos and pictures demonstrating exactly how to use it. So we encourage you to visit there. It's help.raisekids.com. It's available in English and Spanish. And then we also have one-on-one support. So you can email support@raisekids.com. You can call us or text us at 617-843-5892. And you can also reach out to us on the Help Center. There's a little chat button in the bottom right-hand corner, and that will come directly to us as well. And we are happy and willing and ready to help you troubleshoot, navigate, get your feedback, whatever it is. We'd love to hear from you. We also have opportunities to book one-on-one time. So please feel free to leverage that so you can get more assistance in feeling really comfortable getting started. So with that, I thank you for your time and your participation tonight. It is our honor to be able to serve you and to build these resources for you. We are so excited to hear how you are bringing these into your program and excited to support you on this journey. And we look forward to being able to connect with you soon.